Namaskar, good evening. You are watching Rajya Sabha television. I'm Smriti Rastogi with News Tonight. Let's begin the bulletin with our top headlines. Day after Delhi court pronounces the first death sentence in the 84 riots case, Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley says victims need justice, closure. Charges Congress with fanning violence and misrepresenting facts on the riots. Punjab Chief Minister confirms Pakistan's ISI hand in Amritsar's Nirankari Bhavan attack. One of the two suspects arrested. 3 people were killed in the incident on Sunday. In Jammu and Kashmir, amid rival claims by PDP Chief Mehbooba Mufti and Sajjad Loon to form the government, Governor dissolves the assembly. On the campaign trail in Bhopal, Home Minister Rajnath Singh says Congress lacks credible chief ministerial face in MP. Former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh questions note ban and GST decisions in Indore. Senior political leaders address rallies in Rajasthan, Mizoram and Telangana. And need to imbue children and youth with scientific temper to build a new India, says Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu. Presents awards to young scientists, advises them to find solutions to current challenges, including clean energy. Our top focus tonight, a day after Patiala House Court awarded death sentence to one of the accused in the 1984 anti-Sikh riots in New Delhi, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley targeted the Congress on the issue in the Facebook post. Jaitley called 1984 as the worst year in the Indian governance. Jaitley blamed the ruling Indira Gandhi government in 1984 of allowing the militancy in Punjab to go unchecked in anticipation of elections later that year. Jaitley called Operation Blue Star poorly planned and terribly executed, which led to the assassination of the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. He added that the fallout of the Prime Minister's assassination was the 1984 riots against Sikhs, where congressmen led violent mobs and were given a free hand to kill and loot. And one person has been arrested in connection with the Amritsar grenade attack that took place on Sunday. Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh confirmed that Bikramjeet Singh has been arrested while the search is on for another accused, Avtar Singh. Amrinder Singh said that the grenade attack was a pure act of terrorism, saying that Pakistan's ISI is quite active in fomenting trouble in Punjab. Showing pictures of the two accused, the Chief Minister assured of nabbing the second accused soon. 3 people were killed and over 20 injured when 2 motorcycle-borne men threw a grenade inside Nirankari Bhavan's prayer hall on Sunday.
For a long time now, and this is something that's going to continue in the whole country, is that the Pakistan ISI is very active. The passes in Kashmir have closed. They closed by about October this year. The snows have been earlier. So you will find activity shifting south. And this is something that we will have to be on our guard, on our toes, and our forces totally on its toes. We will not allow these things to happen. I can guarantee you peace will remain in this place. Now this has taken less than 72 hours to trace these people out and catch them. That I think is goes the credit to the force.
And now let's take a look at all the news from the election-bound states. Election campaigning is in full swing in Rajasthan and political parties are going all out to woo the voters. BJP President Amit Shah held a roadshow in Bikaner on Wednesday. Amid a huge crowd of supporters, the BJP chief urged people to vote for BJP to ensure development in the state. And earlier in the day, party chief Amit Shah also interacted with the youth of the state through video conferencing conducted from an auditorium in Jaipur. In his address, Shah expressed confidence of the BJP's victory in the state. Interacting with the youth, he highlighted the achievements of Vasundhara Rajya government in the state. He said that her government has achieved in 5 years what Congress couldn't achieve in 50 years of governance.
पांच साल की सरकार के अंदर वसुंधरा सरकार ने, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने राजस्थान के हर व्यक्ति को छूने का काम किया। बामासा स्वास्थ्य योजना के तहत 24 लाख परिवारों को फायदा मिला। उज्ज्वला योजना के गैस 32 लाख लोगों को मिले। मुद्रा के लोन 40 लाख लोगों को मिले। प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना 13 लाख लोगों को मिला। मोबाइल फोन 50 लाख महिलाओं को मिला। कॉलेज के युवाओं को लैपटॉप मिला। युवतियों को स्कूटी मिली। 11 लाख बेटियों को राजश्री योजनाओं का फायदा मिला। 80 लाख परिवारों में टॉयलेट बनाकर माताओं बेटियों को सम्मान के साथ जीने का अधिकार ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने।
Meanwhile, campaigning is in full swing in poll-bound Madhya Pradesh. Home Minister Rajnath Singh addressed a press conference in Bhopal on Wednesday. Addressing media, Singh added that NDA government is overpowering the crisis of credibility at the centre, which was created by the previous UPA government. Singh expressed confidence that BJP will emerge victorious in the forthcoming assembly elections in Madhya Pradesh and other states. He took a jibe at the Congress by adding that the party is leaderless and lacks command structure.
जब भी चुनाव होते हैं तो हम अपने लीडर की घोषणा करते हैं कि हमारा कौन चीफ मिनिस्टर होगा, हमारा कौन प्राइम मिनिस्टर होगा। लेकिन यह साहस कांग्रेस पार्टी नहीं जुटा पा रही है। और इसे मैं कहूं दूसरे भाषा में, इन्होंने बारात तो निकाल दी है लेकिन दूल्हे का पता नहीं है। कोई सेनापति ही नहीं है। मध्य प्रदेश के हर कोने से कोई न कोई कांग्रेस का नेता मुख्यमंत्री बनने के लिए अपनी ताल ठोंक रहा है।
And electioneering is on full swing in Madhya Pradesh. Former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh also campaigned for Congress party in the state on Wednesday. Addressing a press conference in Indore, Singh once again questioned the NDA government's move to invalidate high-value currency notes.
Unwitting and ill-conceived decisions of demonetization and a flawed GST coupled with tax terrorism have dealt a body blow to both organized and unorganized sectors. Farmers, traders, small industrialists are all unhappy. Small, medium and micro enterprises are reeling under the adverse and painful effects of the double whammy of demonetization and the GST.
Well, that was all the election news. And in the news just coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, Governor Satyapal Malik is reported to have dissolved the assembly. This was on a day of some major political developments when PDP President and former Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti has claimed that she has written to the Governor Satyapal Malik staking claim to form the government. After this, the Congress and the National Conference decided to extend support to Mufti's party. The state is under governor's rule after BJP pulled out of the ruling coalition with the PDP in June this year. And for more on this, we'll go across to senior journalist Anil Anand, who is joining us on phone line. Sir, what is the news from the Raj Bhavan?
The news is that the governor has dissolved the assembly. According to me, it was the best option. But then why wait for 2-3 months and add to the uncertainty which was already there? If at all it was to be dissolved, it should have been dissolved 2 months back. But now it has been done in a half and it has raised many questions. Jammu Kashmir has been witness to many such manipulations and machinations. I hope it doesn't lead to another bad phase in politics of Jammu and Kashmir. The assembly has been dissolved. The governor must satisfy each and every political party. When there was, where three parties have got together and there was a strength of 60 MLAs with them, out of a house of 83 or 87, I think there was a case for a governor to have heard them at least. But he hasn't done. Maybe he has some compulsions, or maybe the ground realities are different, which we don't know. So one can only say this at this moment.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anand, for joining us and giving us all those latest inputs and the latest details from Jammu and Kashmir. Remember, a day of big political development in the state. Now, Governor Satyapal Malik is reported to have dissolved the assembly. And of course, there is the latest development of the alliance of the non-BJP alliance, which is staking the claim in the state, with National Conference, Congress and PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti saying that they have claimed to form the government in Jammu and Kashmir. Moving on to some other developments, on 12th National Academy of Sciences Young Scientist Award function, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said that science is the cornerstone for the progress in the mankind. Scientific inventions have revolutionized the world and shaped every aspect of the modern life.
India's scientific prowess owes a lot to its scientific fraternity. It has made us a force to reckon with in the spheres of IT, space and atomic energy, medicine and biology. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said this as he addressed young scientists in New Delhi.
The world is facing numerous challenges like those relating to climate change, global warming, sustainable development, clean energy, and water and diseases. Only science can throw up solutions for the present and emerging problems in the years to come. The onus lies on the shoulders of the young scientists, and we look forward to you to find solutions to the problems the world is facing.
This year, the NASI Scopus Award was introduced in 5 multidisciplinary national missions of Make in India, Digital India, Healthy India and Clean India. The awards were given to Dr. Jitendra Giri, NIPGR for Agriculture, Dr. Madhika Subba Reddy, CDFD Hyderabad for Healthcare, Dr. Vimal Chandra Srivastava of IIT Roorkee for Sustainable Development, Dr. Ajay S. Karatoti, Ahmedabad University for Physical Sciences, and the Best Woman Scientist Award for Dr. Jhumar Ghosh of the Bose Institute.
इस तरह के जो पुरस्कार मिलते हैं ये हमारे लिए बहुत ही ज़्यादा इनकरेजिंग है, हमें बहुत ज़्यादा प्रोत्साहन मिलता है, स्पेशली जब इस तरह के पुरस्कार भारत के उप राष्ट्रपति के हाथों मिली जाए तो ये हमारे लिए बहुत गर्व की बात होती है.
The Vice President underscored that until development does not reach the last person or every section of the society, the country cannot be called a developed one. He said government policies and scientific technologies can play a big role in the country's development and also stressed that new India will be possible only if the children and the youth of our country develop a scientific attitude. Aruna Thakur's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Thank you, Mr. Yusuf, for doing us the honors.
And with that, time for a very short break. More news and updates on the other side. Stay with us. Welcome back. News on the job creation front now. According to the latest EPFO payroll data, job creation has more than doubled in September as compared to the same month last year. Now at 9.73 lakh in September this year, it is more than double as compared to 4.11 lakh in the same month last year. This is the highest monthly addition since September 2017. The data also shows that around 79.48 lakh new subscribers were added to Social Security schemes of the Employees Provident Fund organization from September 2017 to September 2018. This indicates that these many jobs were created in the last 13 months. The lowest number of 2.36 lakh subscribers were added to the EPFO schemes in the month of March this year. During September this year, the maximum number of 2.69 lakh jobs were created in the 18 to 21 years of age group, followed by 2.67 lakhs in 22 to 25 years age bracket. And for more on this, we'll go across to Mr. K.A. Badrinath, Editor Policy, Financial Chronicles. So thank you so much for coming to our studio. So EPFO data shows the highest, almost 1 million payroll additions in the last 13 months. Now, what is the significance of these figures?
See, the point here is that if you recall, in when the Lok Sabha elections happened in 2014, then the BJP manifesto had promised 10 million jobs every year. The 10 million jobs that we are talking about every year may not have happened fully. But point here is we are getting somewhere near that. In 13 months, you are trying to talk about 79 lakh jobs. That means about 7.9 million jobs that you are talking about. So, this is one way of looking at the jobs market. Second is that if you analyze the EPFO data, new subscribers getting into the database means it's also that a lot of people who were earlier not formalized under the social security schemes of the government of India are getting into it. Third part of the analysis is that the age group,
absolutely,
which I have got into the job market. Say for example, you will see that from 18 to 21 years, you have about 2.5 or 2.65 lakh jobs that have been created. From 22 to 25 years age group, you have about 2.5 lakh jobs created.
Absolutely.
So the issue here is more and more new jobs are being created. But there is a rider here actually. If you see that, the point is that, well, how credible is the job data that we have right now? In the sense, earlier we used to have the Labour Ministry's data. Second, we used to have for both the temporary as well as the permanent jobs that is to be there. And thirdly, that we used to have separate data from Department of Statistics. So my guess is, like the Prime Minister wants the digitization and technology usage, I guess that we need to leverage the data, the technology to see the data is much better and captures wider. So henceforth, we need to understand that this data, which is here, one, it's realistic. Two, that much more can be done. Three, refining the data matrix is a big challenge globally. And my guess is, as we digitize the economy, more and more jobs will be created, and wider matrix, both rural and urban, age groups, social strata. All these are the issues that need to be covered in the data matrix. So for that to happen, we need to rejig our, the data collection in the terms of jobs.
Absolutely.
Secondly, the job market that is right now here is a very formal job market that you're talking about. There's a lot of agriculture labor.
Absolutely.
Which is not.
How does it help in the economy also, the formalization of jobs? How does it help in the economy?
Economy-wise.
Yeah.
So, okay, in the sense that if you are going to talk that more and more people are getting into EPFO, that means more and more subscribers are getting social security benefits, that means the economy is on an expansion mode. Till now, the charge on the government was that, look, there is a jobless growth. So this has been even the electioneering campaign of the opposition parties. But if this data is seen, to an extent, that argument gets negated. One is that. Second is the economy where it is expanding is a big issue that will point out, the job market will point out to. And it's also a basic economic indicator as to how the jobs market is opening up in a big way, new opportunities for our youngsters, for our people who are technology trained,
Absolutely.
and also the new areas like services and etc.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Badrinath, for joining us and helping us understand this very important development. That EPFO payroll data has said that the job creation has more than doubled in September as compared to the same month last year. Moving on to some more news, President Ramnath Kovind addressed the Indian diaspora in Sydney on Wednesday during his tour to Australia. Addressing the gathering, the President said Indians in Australia are highly respected and Indian skills and professionals are much sought elsewhere in the world. He added it is a matter of pride that the Indian community is held in high regard and contributes to society and the economy in Australia. He further said that Australia-India relations has been enhanced remarkably over the years.
It is a matter of pride for us that the Indian community in Australia is highly respected. Today, Indian skills and professionals are much sought after here and elsewhere in the world. Australia is also home to a large number of Indian students. They are excelling on campus in their studies, research, innovation and sports. Their hard work and talent are showing in the strength of Australia-India knowledge partnership.
And earlier, President Ramnath Kovind formally began his visit by paying respects at Anzac War Memorial in Sydney. The memorial was originally built as a tribute to Australian soldiers who did service in World War I. President arrived in Australia on Wednesday on a 3-day visit, becoming the first ever Indian head of the state to visit the nation. He landed in Sydney from Vietnam along with his wife Savita Kovind on their second leg of two-nation visit. And this week, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's monthly radio address, Mann Ki Baat, is going to enter 50th month, and it has been a phenomenal success when it comes to encouraging people for social causes. It was on this radio program that Prime Minister Modi appealed to the well-to-do and middle-class people to give up the LPG subsidy so as to enable the poor to get LPG connections. His appeal inspired over 1 crore people to give it up. Here's a special report.
From this LPG godown in Delhi's Dilshad Garden, cylinders are loaded onto vehicles and distributed to households. But what's intriguing is that the owner of this agency, Neeraj Tiwari, keeps reminding customers about the Prime Minister's appeal and encourages them to give up LPG subsidy.
के जो लोग हैं, जो बुद्धिजीवी लोग हैं, उन लोगों के साथ जोड़ के एक हम लोगों ने पूरा अभियान चलाया। मैंने एक टीम बनाया जिसमें डॉक्टर्स हमारे साथ थे, जिसमें समाज के अच्छे लोग थे, कुछ नौजवान थे, कुछ छात्र छात्राएं थे। उन लोगों के साथ हम लोगों ने काफ़ी ये अभियान चलाया जिसमें मुझे काफ़ी अच्छा लगा और लोगों ने बढ़ चढ़ के हिस्सा लेके काफ़ी सब्सिडी छोड़ा, जिससे जो प्रधानमंत्री का हमारा ड्रीम था कि जो सक्षम लोग हैं, जो टैक्स पेयर लोग हैं वो छोड़े और जो ज़रूरतमंद लोग हैं, जो आज तक गैस से वंचित रहे हैं, उन की सुविधा इसके माध्यम से जो पैसा छूटता है उससे हम लोग फ्री में उज्ज्वला योजना के तहत दें। जो आपको मालूम ही है कि उज्ज्वला योजना के तहत पूरे देश में लगभग 3 करोड़ लोगों को ये फायदा पहुंचा है।
Tiwari and many like him have been impressed by the Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat addresses.
1 करोड़ परिवारों ने स्वेच्छा से अपनी गैस सब्सिडी सरेंडर कर दी और ये 1 करोड़ परिवार अमीर नहीं है। मैं देख रहा हूँ कोई रिटायर्ड टीचर, रिटायर्ड क्लार्क, कोई किसान, कोई छोटा सा दुकान चलाने वाला, ऐसे मध्यम वर्ग, निम्न मध्यम वर्ग के परिवार हैं जिन्होंने छोड़ा। दूसरी विशेषता देखिए कि सब्सिडी छोड़ने के लिए मोबाइल फ़ोन की ऐप से कर सकते थे, ऑनलाइन कर सकते थे, टेलीफोन पर मिस कॉल करके कर सकते थे, बहुत तरीके थे। लेकिन हिसाब लगाया गया तो पता चला कि इन 1 करोड़ परिवारों में 80% से ज़्यादा लोग वो थे जो स्वयं डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर के यहाँ खुद गए, कतार में खड़े रहे और लिखित में दे करके उन्होंने अपनी सब्सिडी सरेंडर कर दी।
Economists often call subsidy a waste of resources and a drag on the economy. Till 2013-14, India's LPG subsidy burden was over 40,000 crore rupees. On March 27, 2015, Prime Minister Modi appealed to the economically well-off to give up their LPG subsidy of their own free will. Since then, over 1,25,000 people have given it up. For instance, 32,12,000 Bharat Petroleum customers giving up LPG has freed up subsidy worth 1,927 crore rupees.
मुझे 3 साल हो गए सब्सिडी छोड़े हुए, जब से मोदी जी की मन की बात से प्रभावित होके, तो मोदी जी की वजह से मैंने गरीबों के घर में अपना चूल्हा अपना गैस सिलेंडर पहुंच सके और सारी जगह से अपना साकार हो सके, तो इस चक्कर में मैंने सब्सिडी छोड़ दी है।
मैंने गैस सब्सिडी जब से प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा, मेरे 5 महीने हो गए, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा कि गैस सब्सिडी छोड़ करके, बहुत से देश में बहुत गरीब लोग हैं, हम इनकम टैक्स भी जमा करते हैं, तो एक प्रधानमंत्री जी की विचारों से प्रभावित होकर के स्वतः से मन में विचार आया कि हमारे सब्सिडी छोड़ने से किसी गरीब के घर में चूल्हा जल सकता है, किसी गरीब का भला हो सकता है। तो हम ये कौन से, हमने कोई बहुत बड़ा त्याग भी नहीं किया है, हम अपना गैस ले ही रहे हैं। एक सब्सिडी जो है छोड़ने से किसी के घर में चूल्हा जल सकता है, तो ये हमारे लिए गर्व की बात है।
Today, 375 rupees is given as subsidy on every LPG cylinder. This amount may not make a difference to upper middle class or middle class customers, and if they are convinced that giving it up will assist the cause of building the nation, they would be more inclined to do so. This is what the Prime Minister ensured people's participation when he asked the well-to-do classes to give up their LPG subsidy. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
International developments now. The European Union unveiled its strategy to step up cooperation with India. The strategy paper outlines EU's broad roadmap for expanding cooperation with India in a range of key sectors, including trade, investment, defense and security, innovation, and on dealing with various global challenges. Releasing the paper, European Union's ambassador to India, Tomasz Kozlowski, said the two sides will have military cooperation in Indian Ocean region. He also said that India and EU are also deepening cooperation to effectively deal with the terrorism in the region. He confirmed that both sides are actively engaged on stalled negotiations for the India-EU Free Trade Agreement. He said that India is on the top of the agenda of the EU in the field of external relations. Interpol has appointed South Korean police officer Kim Jong-yang as its new president. Kim Jong-yang, who was backed by the United States, was selected at the meeting of delegates from 194 member nations in Dubai. Kim beat Kim beat Russian candidate and current Interpol vice president, whose candidacy has raised concerns with the Western nations over the fears that Moscow could abuse the role of target political opponents. The United States has suspended its $1.66 billion security assistance to Pakistan. The Pentagon said the decision has been taken on the directions of President Donald Trump. The Pentagon statement came days after Trump said that Pakistan does not do anything for the US. The move is seen as a strong signal of Americans' frustration. Pakistan has so far taken no serious steps to address a core US concern that it tolerates and often encourages groups that use violence against its neighbors. And that's all we have for you in this edition of News Tonight. For more news and updates, keep watching Rajya Sabha Television. Namaskar.